Okay.
So good evening, sir. We are from Devang Patel Institute of Advanced Technology and Research from Charulsat University. And my name is Nia and my ID number is 22DCE027.
My name is Riva and my ID number is 22DC042.
My name is Misa and my ID number is 22DC029.
Uh, Hello, my name is Hers. My ID number is 24.
Hello, my name is Chanvi Gevaria and my ID number is 32.
So today, as a part of our academic task, we are here to take interview about our software engineering task. And for the same, we have Mr. Chintan Vyas with us, who is working in the Crash Data Systems company. So my first question is that, can you provide an overview of your software development processes?
Yes, why not? First of all, the first phase of software is the requirement analysis. In that, we require all the requirements of a product on which we are going to work. It's like that, what is the scope of the product, how much of a user, how kind of functionality they want. All of this come into the requirement analysis phase. After the with help of that functionality, we will make one design plan of the our application. So in the design plan, we will decide the overall workflow of our product. Also, like what will be the things in UI, what will be in backend. We design all of that things. And third phase will come to the working. So like we will start working on the product, and we will write codes. We will do some kind of brainstorming all of that, and we will make a functional website. And in the fourth phase, it is a testing phase. In that, we will test the application with the help of the requirement that was provided by our customer. We will we will run the test cases, test scenarios, all of that, and we will make sure that we will make sure that our product is stable, reliable, and safe. And the last phase will be the deployment phase. In that, we will deploy the product to live user, and we will, in some cases, we will also provide the after deployment, supports.
Okay, so my second question is that, are there specific software engineering principles that are particularly emphasized or followed?
Yes, our company basically work on the agile principle of the software development. That means we will be constantly touch of the client. We will constantly do the scrum meetings with the client, and we will make sure that all the requirements are going on well. And also it will give chance to make fast changes in our products. Like if in other principles, what will the client come to last to see the product, that in that case we will sometimes product go to the scrap. But in agile, the client gives continuous feedback, so the best product can be given at efficient time.
Okay, so our third question is, how does the KPI, means keep it simple principle, influence software development?
So the keep it simple principle generally works at time of the at the time of the uh, making the requirement analysis, SRS. So like our requirement, if we specify our requirement as simply as that most of the developer can able to work on that. Like if I am writing a requirement very complex ways, other developer will not able to take a view of that, and they will not able to do proper justice to that. So if I made it keep it simple, if I have a bug, i I generally just go to the developer. I found a bug, then just go to developer. So that will be beneficial. Like we have to keep it simple.
So our fourth question is, could you explain the solid principle of software engineering?
So solid principles are generally used by developer to make a very good customer friendly uh, website or product. Like say, the solid principle is will help you to make open or closed principle, like open closed discussions. And all of that will be achieved with the solid principles. Next question.
Okay, so our fifth question is, what kind of software project does your company typically undertake?
So our company generally works on the various kind of projects. There are some projects of the Google, some projects of Splunk, some of IBM's, or many other reputed international companies, on which the our company works. Other details are kind disclosed.
Okay, so sixth question is, on basis of what skills you prepare your team?
So the best of the one thing on which our team is going prepared is that communication. If the communication is the perfect, then he can communicate all the requirements to other. The second most thing is the vision and clarity, and effectiveness. If the person has vision and he can see that vision and channel that vision, that only he can able to perform. And the third, I think, it's the ability to work in a team.
ओके सर, तो इसमें से कौन सी ऐसी कोई स्किल है तो सबसे ज्यादा जरूर पड़ती है सॉफ्टवेयर में? इन सब आपने स्किल बताई उसमें से।
Communications, because like if you can't communicate the requirements, because it is not like there are HGB project like only three people are going to work on the project. There are going to be team of 20 to 30 people dedicatedly going to work on the one project. So if you can't communicate the requirements, can't communicate the change, can't raise the question properly, then you won't able to make a good product. Hence, whatever you have the great coding skills, great analysis skills, if you can't communicate, you can't able to understand it, you can't able to convey it to other people, then your project will be damaged.
ओके ओके नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, हाउ डू यू हैंडल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट और a disagreement within your team with it come to technical decision or a project approach?
So generally, if the conflicts come, then we will do a retrospective meeting. In that, we will see that we'll compare what was the actual requirement of a project, what is the requirement that we are conflicting. We will also going to see that output of both the conflict, like we will try to brainstorm the output of both, and among which will give us a better product that was going to be followed.
Okay, my next question is, how does the company handle changes in project scope or a requirement during the development process?
So as I say, our company works in the agile. So like there will be going to be followed by a scrum. The scrum is general sprint, and in that going to be a sprint. That sprint generally happens into 2 weeks or 3 weeks. There will be one sprint duration will be 2 to 3 weeks. So after that 2 to 3 weeks, we will have a meeting with our customer, and we will uh, present them the work which is done by us. After that meeting, he will give us feedback. In feedback, there are many chances that requirements are going to be changes. So after that requirement going to change, we will again do the requirement analysis meeting, again brainstorm it, again create a new SRS, and again start working on it. Also we will try to implement that changes as soon as possible in a project with the agile methodology.
Okay, sir. The next question is, after software is prepared, what kind of problems do you face in terms of security?
So the one of the major problem that we go with the main phase is like that sensitive data is going to be like if you put so much stress on data, there may be a chance of data leakage or there can be like if you mask, it is not properly masked, or it is not able to too much requested, or you can able to access it from logs. So there are some incident in which the user got access to the log which is not supposed to happen due to some mistakes in the production. So we have to make sure that nothing happened at that time.
Okay, sir. The next question is how do you ensure that a server is secure?
So server security we will achieve with the help of the certifications. Like if we are working on the server, we will make sure that all the certification are clear. If the certification are not clear, then we will raise a bug, or I can say that certification error. So like in App Store, like we can't publish our app unless we purchase all the security service certificate. So we need to make sure make a checklist of that which security certificates I need for my project, or also make sure with the client to discuss all the details.
Okay, so our next question is how do you manage and handle sensitive data within the code base to prevent exposure or leaks?
So the best thing the is going to we can do with this is the encryption. So like we will use the different hashing protocols like SH256 or many more like DAG, like data digital signatures. We will do all of that, and masking all of the with that we will we are ensuring that sensitive data is handled properly in the database.
So can you explain about firewall securities?
Sure. The firewall securities are the type of security. It is basically firewall is a tool. So in firewall, I will just put my previous requirement of the security. Like my company is working with this. Like this certification are needed for my site. This type of URL are secure. This type of URL are unsecure. So like if I introduce a new URL, it will compare that URL with my secure and non-secure. And which is going to, if it is secure, then it will pass the URL. Otherwise, it will not pass the URL. So firewall is an adaptive security mechanism. You can say that.
So our next question is how does documentation maintain and update throughout a project life cycle?
So I basically work in an agile environment. So like in agile environment, after the every scrum, after every sprint finishes, we will update all the documents in that sprint for the next sprint. So we will start with the version 1.0.0, and after each sprint, we will iterate it, and we release a new version of a product document, and we will also have the previous version with our store. So if there are any back engineering or reverse engineering, we are easily able to track it.
Okay, so next question is what types of document do you typically prepare to begin your project?
So one document is SRS. It is software requirement specification. So in SRS document, we generally put all the information about our project, what is the scope, what is inner scope, what is in scope, what is out scope, all the detail. Also, you have TDD. So in TDD is the technical design document. In that we will put the information of the design. There are RTM. It is called the reverse traceability matrix. In that we will define the forward scope and backward scope. Also, there is one more document is test plan, which is used by the quality assurance engineers. So the test plan, we will here have the details of what is going to test in that sprint, what is in scope, what is out scope, all the things.
Okay, so our next question is, do you adhere to any specific software development standards? For example, ISO, IEC 12207?
No, we are not currently using any of the standards right now. We are just following
Okay,
because
so
our company is working with the international guides. So like there are some of these are not directly applicable to that. So we are using their standards.
okay, so next question is, how does your organization approach and implement CMM or ISO standards in your software development process?
Actually, since our organization don't directly implement CMA or ISO standard, and I don't have actually worked with that kind of projects, I can't actually provide you details about that. So sorry.
Okay.
ओके सर, आपने पहले ऐसा बोला कि इन स्कोप ने आउट स्कोप जैसा बात की, तो वो क्या होता है वो समझाएंगे?
जो Okay, so basically in scope and out scope. Like when you develop a product, you need to be precise what you want to do and what you not want to do. So like if I'm making an e-commerce application, and in that there is no requirement like users TP is going to be shown, and you are testing it, you're putting your 100% effort in that, not in other functionalities. So it is called in scope. Like in scope you need to develop it, you need to check, and in outscope you don't need to develop, you don't need to check. Like you can say that the in scope is like a compulsory question, like this kind of question you have to attempt, and outscope is like the question you don't need to attempt. If you fail in that question, no worries, but if you fail in scope, you fail in subject.
Okay, sir. The next question is, how does your company support the ongoing training and software engineering team?
uh, the- in the first day we have to they have told us that we have to write comments in our code. So they have told us it is a very minor thing. If I start writing comments in my code will be visible, my code will be easy to understand. They told us to follow the coding standard. Also like then they showed us how to create a plans and everything. So generally we have two sessions. One session will be session in the we will have training about the software engineering aspect, and in other session we have the training about the development aspect.
Okay, sir. Next question is, are there specific training program or resources dedicated to enhancing software engineering capability?
uh, Yes, there are many. I can tell you many websites. There is one website called Guru 99. In that, you can learn everything about software engineering. Also, you can follow the Geeks for Geeks, also, other blogging site. Also, you can follow the books which you are going to follow, or also you can follow the previous project or open source project. In that, they will provide you the documentation, so you have the idea about how all things is going to happen. So you can follow all of that.
Okay, sir. Throughout the interview, you talk more about the Scrum, but there are different kind of agile methodologies. Then why you use Scrum more?
So the reason behind using Agile is that it provides us to directly communicate the to the client. So like the constant requirement changes are easily tackled. Also, Agile is very flexible. Since our organization big, so the projects are big, it is very hard to take sharp U-turns. So Agile is a very flexible in that. So also there are some minor advantages like documentation reduces, workload manages. So all of that will be happens in Scrum. So because of that we are using Scrum.
Okay, the next question is what lesson have been learned from previous projects in terms of software engineering?
So the main lesson I have learned with the software engineering from my previous projects are like I need to be very specific in my language in the SRS document. If I don't mention or the write my requirements properly, the other developer is not going to be understand. If sometime I find a very silly to mention it in my sentence, but sometimes it happen to be most critical line of my of my SRS. So I can say that the most important thing I learned from all of that is to I need to be very specific during my explanation.
So our last question is, can you share any specific challenges or obstacles encountered in implementing software engineering practices?
So the main challenge I have faced is to like elaborating the process, because my English communication is little bit weak, so I'm not able to that much fluently explain it in English. Also, sometimes there if you find something like silly, and so you're not mentioning. Also, sometimes if they are going to get going on, and you're not asking the proper questions, and that question are critical. You see, like I will ask to someone else there, but the only that person which you're providing you get is known, they known that thing. So it is may cause you in other projects, because if you are not asking, then it may in the serious, they may cause the serious damage to the project.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. We truly appreciate the opportunity to learn more about your experience and skills. Your insights have been invaluable, and we are grateful for your interest in joining our team. Thank you.